Just chilling out?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right.
Oh.
All right.
Uh, Read.
We I don't hear any music, so you're good to go. Um so I'm just going to ask you a few questions. You don't have to feel obligated to answer any of these questions. Just make sure you answer them as personally as you want them to be. And just and also if you don't feel like you want to answer any of these questions, that's perfectly fine as well. Um but all we're trying to do here is trying to get to know you a little bit better and just trying to dive into the world of. Should I? Do you just want me to say space god, or should
You just say space god, because I'm the one and only god.
I?
So.
Oh, yeah, sure, buddy. But uh, let's get started. So I always start out these asking like, what was your first memory?
My first memory was me falling down my stairs and almost dying. Oh, actually, it's not stairs, but two steps. Right. So in my father's house, we call it the two steps because it's literally two steps that leads downstairs. But it was like, is it really downstairs just because it has two steps? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you have the main house. Like it's not even it's still connected, but it's like the place where the kitchen is and all the rooms are, right? And then as you go down the hallway, there's two steps that leads to the living room. But we're like, is it downstairs or is it just two steps that leads to the living room?
Okay.
But when I was like a little kid, right, I would always run down the hallway back and forth. And one day I was like, know what? I'm gonna jump these two steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just like sprinted down the hallway and jumped. My foot like touched like the border between the two steps and the hallway, and I freaking tripped and hit my head. I was out cold for at least 3 seconds.
How old are you?
I think I was like four at least, probably three.
At 4? Damn. Okay.
It was funny.
Wow.
Oh, also no, there's other good memory, right? So I used to have these boxing gloves, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think I was around like 7 years old, around that. And I would always punch my sister with boxing gloves, right? Because she had boxing gloves too. She would like punch back, but jokingly, right? But it was one time I was going all out, right? I was like, I'm gonna show you my full power, and I punched her really hard, and she punched me back in the head, and she actually like knocked me out,
Oh, fuck, dude.
and dude, I was gone. I literally knocked. She knocked me out, and I fell on the back of my head. And ever
Damn.
since that day, I actually have a dent in my head.
To this day?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Oh my god, that's crazy, dude. Dude, okay. Wow. So, which one? So you said the steps was your very first memory you could ever think
Yeah.
of. Wow.
Yeah.
It's not a it's not a very fun memory. Damn. So, what was like the rest of your childhood like?
I started. Okay, so most of my childhood, I've been playing games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Ever since I was 4.5 years old, around that time, I've literally only been, all right, I'm waking up and I'm playing some games.
I mean,
Because my very first console I've owned was the original Xbox.
mm-hmm.
That's the first console I owned. I played on other consoles because my sister played games. Both of my sister played games, and I play on their PlayStation One sometimes as a little kid. All right, but my main goal in life as a kid, it's like, all right, I'm gonna wake up and play some games. That's all I did.
That's you
throughout
still
all
do
my
that.
life. I still do that.
Day one. All right, I'm wake up, play some
Yeah,
games.
yeah, play some games.
What kind of games do you play?
I avoided people as much as possible.
Really?
Yeah,
Like in, like intentionally, like you just didn't want to be around people.
yeah.
Why is that?
Even as a little kid, I always thought people were stupid. Like I was like as a little kid, right? always like question people's decisions, but since I was a kid, I didn't know how to challenge those decisions, or like if truly my decision I wanted to do was actually the right thing. So I had to listen to the people that tell me like, "Oh, this is wrong. You have to do it this way." I would question it, but I can't really challenge what they're telling me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was that type of kid that always questioned everything. Even my teachers hated it, right? Because I'll be that kid who always ask questions. Like when I was little, like in first grade, that's actually one of the reasons why I actually flunked the first grade.
You flunked
I actually got
first
held
grade?
back because I would always ask questions instead of actually doing the work. But I was also known as like the smartest kid in school. It's weird, right? So I would never do any of the work, but I'll always know the answers to the questions. I'll always ask the questions in the class, but I'll never do the work. Always been like that.
Oh, you're one of those kids, huh?
Yeah. I think after the first grade, right, I stopped caring about school. I think that was like an eye opener for me as a kid. It's like no matter how smart you are, if you don't do the work and do it the way they wanted you to do it, you'll always just fail. Which I hated. So I was like, know what? I'm literally never gonna do work.
Wow.
I'm just gonna ride through life.
And somehow you made it.
Yeah, because I'm a god.
Oh, okay, buddy. So you
I
went.
literally did nothing all my life, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my mom's kind of the same way. She pretty much went through. She was like a not natural genius, but she pretty much went through like school without having to do it lick of work. So, wow, you're lucky. I'm not the same way at all. I'm very unlucky. But like, other than like having to do work, you said you were like the smartest kid in school. Like, how was it socially for you as a kid?
After the first grade, right, my socializing was because I actually got bullied in the first grade. Right.
Wow.
A lot of people don't think bullying actually exists, but I actually did get bullied multiple times. So my socializing was almost completely a zero in the first grade. And I think I moved around the second grade. Like throughout the first and second grade, I literally didn't talk to anybody. Like, everybody at this point, it was just an enemy to me. Like I just don't want to talk to you. And then I moved into a different house at the end of the second grade and going to my third. And that's where I met Brian and Eric. But don't get me wrong, they don't remember this. Nobody liked me. Like in the third grade when I moved. Literally, I was getting picked on constantly. People always make fun of me because I forgot what happened. I think my first day of school, right? In the third grade when I moved. I'm trying to remember exactly what happened. Oh yeah. So I was really, really weird. So every day during my third grade of school, I would always put my shoes on backwards. So my left foot would be on my right. And my right foot would be on my left. And I showed up to the first day of school, and like we have to line up on the gates and wait for the gate to open for everybody to come in. So all the kids would line up at the gate, talk to each other. I'll be that new kid. And there was these fifth graders who would just look at me and like, bro, why do you have your shoes on backwards? And start picking up. And like, I didn't, at the time, I actually didn't know how to tie my shoes. I was a very weird kid. I was still smart, but I was very weird. And they would like pick on me and like basically avoid me throughout school. And all my classes I'll be avoided. But yeah, that was the thing.
I mean, wow. But you intentionally put your shoes on backwards?
I didn't intentionally do it. This is my way my brain works. I'm just weird.
Oh.
Like,
Huh.
I want to fit. So my thought process was, it's like shoes are shoes. I'll just put them on.
Wow. Doesn't matter what foot goes on. Just
Yeah.
put it on. Okay. All right. So first year, got bullied. Wasn't a fun year. After that,
Yeah.
after you met Brian and Eric, did things get better?
Kinda, because Brian was my first friend,
Mm-hmm.
I think. It was rather Brian or Eric. No, it was Brian. And after that was like I started talking to people a little bit more. And then I met Eric.
Mm-hmm.
And then over time I met other friends. But other than that, those were the only people I mainly talked to.
Well, you remember what the first thing Brian has ever said to you?
Oh, I don't remember what Brian said to me. I was not paying attention. Probably.
Was it so you guys met up, like you guys were in the same class, I assume, right?
No, it wasn't the same class. That's during, I think, recess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We never had the same class.
So you guys met up. This was second grade, right?
Third grade.
Third grade. Gotcha. And you guys are still friends to this day. That's actually surprising. Usually, like, friendships don't last that long, especially during school.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys are like still friends and all that. That's awesome. So usually for people, middle school is like the worst years of their life because, you know, all the hormones and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But like, what about you? What's your middle school like?
Oh, my middle school was very interesting because I actually technically didn't graduate in middle school.
Technically didn't graduate.
Yeah, I literally didn't have enough points to actually officially even graduate. But they forced me to graduate, basically, if that makes sense. Because they couldn't literally keep me in the middle school, right?
Yeah.
So they had to actually make me go through and go to high school. But technically, I never actually graduated middle school.
That's interesting, actually. I've heard about that, like the leave no kid behind or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I get it.
But middle school in general was a very interesting years. Yeah, I didn't. When I say I did nothing in middle school, I mean it. I literally just did nothing.
Was this like
All I did was talk to friends and eat food.
Was this the time that you started watching anime, or was this before? Oh, hold on one second. We should probably move to.
I mean, you could join in if you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, what's going on? If it's
doing an
something
interview.
personal, I can do it. Oh,
Sick.
Oh, all
You
right.
down?
I did.
No, you down?
What's it? What an interview for? What though? Like,
I'm just interviewing Jalen, like a background.
oh,
You feel?
like what's the topic? Like, what?
Just him. That he
Yeah,
is the
it's
topic.
me. I'm a god.
Oh,
Yeah,
you recording this right now?
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I will bear witness to whatever the hell y'all niggas doing.
Bear witness. Okay.
All right, I'm down.
All right.
Sure.
Let's continue. So, was this the time that you started watching anime, or was this before, or was this later on?
Oh, throughout since I was 5 years old, I was watching anime, 4 or 5 around that time. But I never got into anime until I was in, I'll say, actually it's actually around the 3rd grade, as well. Yeah, that's when I actually started getting into anime. I've always watched anime because both my sisters watch anime every single day, and every night, was it Tsunami back then? Yeah, Tsunami come out and play a bunch of anime. I'll watch it. Naruto around that time, how a set schedule of releasing, I think it was 2 times a week during that time, or was it the once a week on Sunday? I don't remember, but I think it was 2 times a week, something like that. Oh, the release episode. But yeah, I'll watch anime all the time, every single day.
I assume you mostly watched like Dragon Ball.
Oh, I didn't watch Dragon Ball until I was in middle school.
Oh,
I literally never watched Dragon Ball until I was in middle school.
wow. I'm surprised because usually like a lot of people watch Dragon Ball when they're like in elementary school, at least for me.
No,
But
my anime was like Inuyasha, Fullmetal Alchemist, Doro, that type of stuff. Like the very niche type of anime. But obviously, I still like watch my like Evangelion or like mechas, all those stuff.
you still watch those?
Yeah, of course. I watch everything. I don't care.
What was your favorite at the time?
Oh, probably Inuyasha or Fullmetal Alchemist. Kind of a hard tie.
I know you still like Fullmetal Alchemist, but
Oh yeah, Fullmetal Alchemist has had people. Okay, I know a lot of people consider Fullmetal Alchemist as the best anime ever, right? Which I agree, right? But the reason I think Fullmetal Alchemist is such a good anime because it explores so many different environments and philosophies, right? Like alchemy is such a they go deep into alchemy and its philosophies and the Philosopher's Stone and equivalent exchange and I'm not gonna spoil anything if I didn't watch Full Alchemist. But actually, not at this point. Like how
it's been 10 years. You gotta watch it.
Yeah, at this point you should know. At the end, how he confronted God and told him that he doesn't need his alchemy. All he needs is his friends. And God was like, no, you actually broke the code. You figured it out. And then he gave back his brother, and it was just the whole show is just amazing.
I mean, I agree with you.
Philosophies and everything around it.
Yeah. But why do you? So you said you also like Inuyasha as well. Why do you? Why do you think that's so great?
I think Inuyasha. I consider okay. People call it Some people call Inuyasha isekai, right? For some reason. What's up, Donovan?
Oh, look, it's bitch nigga.
All right, Donovan, mute your mic.
Yeah.
Mute your mic. Mute your mic. Okay, so people call Inuyasha isekai. I don't consider Inuyasha isekai, even though it technically is, because technically she is going to another world. But I consider isekais that you go to another world, and then you can't come back, type of thing. But she always goes back and forth between worlds. But the reason I think Inuyasha is so great, it was like probably my first anime that had that bond and like growing of family and like characters coming in and building on the world type of thing.
Yeah.
That was probably my first ones that I watched as like that. And I love the main character.
Yeah.
The main character had, long white hair, red clothes. His human form is black hair. It's pretty cool.
No shoes.
No shoes. Hey, yeah, it's freaking cool. You got the classic fang over fang.
Wow.
Only true Inuyasha watchers know what that is. I know people's like, wait, is that
fang over fang?
That's
yeah.
Gatsuga?
Yeah.
That's Naruto, nigga.
Yeah, I know, but I call it fang over fang because that's literally what it is. But we're not gonna talk about it. But yeah.
So you told me that because I know you're a lot into like debating and whatnot, and you said that anime was kind of like that gateway, in some sort of fashion, right? How was that transition for you?
So I think it was around early middle school I started getting into debating because of this person called Seth the Programmer. I watched his power scaling video, like power scaling, like Super Saiyan Goku, all that stuff. That was his first video I ever saw, and I started watching more and more of his videos. And I joined his server very early on when it was a good amount of people there, but it wasn't a lot. And there was a debate about anime. and I was very confused at first, but over time I will listen. I did no, like almost no talking, but I will listen to the debates. I was just take notes, mental notes in my head. So I was very actually interested in what they were talking about. And eventually, over time, I got into my first debate with literally Seth the programmer.
Wow.
So it was very, very interesting.
How did that go?
Of course I lost, but it was a video game topic about Xenoverse. Because I said Xenoverse is a trash. No, it wasn't Xenoverse. It was Raging Blast. Because I said Raging Blast is a trash game, and then he was like, "What? You think Raging Blast is a trash game?" He started debating about it. I don't remember exactly what we talked about exactly, but yeah, I lost that.
It's a good thing you didn't say Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
Oh, it's one of the best games ever.
Yeah, you would have been done in like a few seconds.
Yeah, so many characters in that game. Yeah.
Okay. So you're really into debating. You're still doing all that and everything to this day?
I still do. Okay, I don't go out and like do debates, but I do like learning about different philosophies and logic that goes behind debating, because I think it's very fun.
That's good. I remember you telling me like one time, like, school didn't actually teach me about anything. Anime did, right?
Yeah,
the whole debate.
literally, but all the people who like did like, I literally, I think I already told you the story, but I literally had my economics teacher was also a debate teacher. I guess that's what their name is. That actually like taught debating and all that stuff. And one time, me and Brian was just having a conversation, talk about logical fallacies, but I was trying to teach Brian what they were, and the teacher just looked at me and like, "How do you know what that is?" Like, and how like, because he said that like his advanced students barely know what fallacies are. I was like, what the hell? It's like a very normal
Just
thing
high
to
school?
know. Yeah, that was in high school. Yeah.
Oh, that's just sad.
Yeah.
Niggas just dumb.
So you're doing all that. You talked about your school, but when did your life when did you notice that like your life like really started to begin?
I'll say around probably like my 9th, 10th grade. I'll definitely say that. But the only reason I say that is because freaking that's where my perspective started to broaden even more on like life and school, and how school at the end of the day literally means nothing.
Yeah.
So like, you could take me as an example, who throughout freshman year got all F's. Sophomore year I got like C's and D's, and like junior, senior year did absolutely nothing.
Wow.
And I literally, the only reason I graduated, because senior year, 2 days before graduation, I literally went up to my economics teacher and debated him why I should graduate. And then he like gave me a passing grade.
Wow.
And,
No
yeah.
shit. Damn, dude.
That man gonna get fired.
That's crazy.
Nah.
Did you ever attend college?
I'm in college right now.
What are you doing?
I'm doing like computer electronics and all that stuff, all that jazz.
Hardware's better.
Say what?
Hardware's. You said. I remember you telling me
Computer hardware.
Computer hardware.
Yeah. Hardware is better. I hate all these software people like, you like be C++.
But why? Okay, so you're into computer hardware, but like.
Yeah.
So you also said you've told me that you have a business, right? Is that true?
Yeah, I'm starting one. Yeah.
You're starting one. How? What is it like?
Right now it's pretty smooth right now. pretty nice. Everything's going well so far.
Is it difficult starting a business?
Honestly, it's not. I thought it was difficult, but it's actually not that difficult to start a business. You literally just go online and literally just start it. Like I know this is like, oh, you just start a business. Well, you literally just start one. Like make a website, easy. You pay for a URL, so it was like $20 for a year. Design the website. You could probably just do Google Business and just start your official Google Business through that. And yeah, everything is smooth sailing from there. Obviously, you need advertisement. Do a couple advertisements if you want through Facebook. That's like probably the best way. Not Instagram, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Do you get a lot of help from other people or
Oh yeah, I get help from my mom.
what is like she give you money or does she like help you? What does she help you with?
She helps me like get everything set up and make sure everything's going smooth. And she has a lot of connections and she knows a lot of people. So yeah.
That's good. Is it going well? Are you booming right now?
Okay, I wouldn't say boom because I literally started recently, but yeah, it's pretty smooth.
Nice.
So I literally told somebody because somebody called and said that they accidentally deleted all their files on their computer. I was like, okay, this should be a thing that tells you what all the files that got deleted. And he was like, well, can I get all of the files that got deleted besides the actual programs itself? I was like, well, yes, but that would require a third-party program to recover all your files. It's up to you if you really want to do that, but for now, you just individually reinstall all the programs and you can hope that some of your files stay, but other than that, I don't know. And I got $75 just for saying that.
Oh, no way. It's easy as that,
That's some
huh?
bum shit.
Wow. So you're attending college, you're starting a business right now. What are you attending college for right now?
Yeah, that's good. Like what, major?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's literally called Computer Electronics and Hardware. That's what it's called, yeah.
Oh, okay. I get you.
Yeah.
But is there always something like you've always like wanted to do, like you're like a dream in a way?
Oh, I had a bunch of dreams really. Like one time, like early on, I wanted to be like a drummer, right? I bought a drum set. That didn't work out. I didn't even play the freaking drums, right? One time I wanted to be a DJ. Bought a DJ launch pad. Everything, got into making music. I still make music as a hobby, but nah, that didn't work out, right? But later on, I started noticing like how much I love computers and I'm interested in computers. I was like, you know what? I'll just do computers. So far, it's working out.
I can see that. Why didn't the music thing start?
Well, I actually did get a lot of views on my music, but I just wasn't really dedicated.
Dude, you gotta show me some of your music, bro. The fuck?
Hell no. Anyways,
Oh, okay,
yeah, continue.
Oh, okay.
Bro, we want to hear DJ Jalen.
Nah, I'm good.
Like, send me some of that shit, bro. Could be a SoundCloud rapper.
Bro.
Well, I did put some of my music on SoundCloud, sadly. The freaking SoundCloud, yeah.
Somebody find it right now.
You can probably find it by looking at my name.
I only know your first name.
I'm talking about Space God.
Oh, you use Space God on SoundCloud?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, Jalen or Space Guys could probably fucking make music and you fucking like rap to it or some shit. You got the voice for it, bro.
Oh my god.
Oh, hell no.
No. But yeah, I actually was really good at making music. I just wasn't really dedicated.
Just weren't like inspired to make it like your dream job or anything.
Yeah.
That's fair. So looking back, gathering all your memories up until now, like what was the worst part of your life?
That's a good question. because I don't really have a worst part in my opinion. My opinion is like everything happens for a reason, right? Like I got bullied in the first grade for a reason. Like everybody avoided me for a reason, you know. And now I'm literally better than all of them. Like now I'm literally above them, stomping on them, thinking they're ants to me, you know. And now they're superior. Now they work for me, type of thing.
So there's no particular part of your life where you were like depressed or?
Oh, definitely. But I was like, okay, funny story. So I was going through like some depression type beat, right? And one day I was literally laying in bed, and I was like, you know what? I really don't like being depressed, and I was literally stopped being depressed.
Wow.
Like,
Is that simple, right? Yeah. Just tell it to all the depressed people.
It's not that simple, right? But if you really think about it, like it's like actually under your control, honestly. Like really, like I literally was like, like I'm gonna stop.
Yeah, this man put so many therapists out their job, bro.
Yeah,
it's completely destroyed the fucking industry.
Facts.
You sound like Nicole Arbor telling niggas to just stop being fat.
I mean, that's facts. That's facts.
But that's the thing, Space God, is like you were depressed, and simply saying like, okay, I'm not going to be depressed anymore. It sounds so simple. It's like almost impossible. But at the same time, like the reason why they're depressed is probably because of like things that are maybe it's not going their way, or you know, they're getting bad grades in school or something like that. But the reason why they're depressed is like, well, you can change these things. You just got to get up and do them, right?
Right.
Like I heard one time from this, it was like a quote, like lobsters grow and grow and grow, and their shells don't grow with them, right? They get uncomfortable with their shell. It gets too tight, so they grow. They shed it and they grow a new one. So the point of that quote was like, if you're uncomfortable, do something about it and change something, right? So you're comfortable again. But when people are uncomfortable, they want to get comfortable, and they will take action to do it. So all you gotta do is you gotta get up and do it. You just gotta change something. Don't like it, change it. It's in your control.
Unless you got clinical depression.
Okay, clinical depression is different. That's literally just like
yeah, that's different. But
Jalen, I feel like you were just in that sweet spot where your depression just fucking went out the window, not because you were like, I'm not gonna be depressed no more, but because you were like, hey, I got something I can work towards, and you just forgot everything else.
Yeah, probably. But I was depressed for a good minute, so. I don't know what you mean in a minute, but I mean like.
Yeah.
Don, bro, why'd I call you Don? Oh my god, you like the exact opposite of that nigga too.
I never asked you. What was you still live with your family, right?
Yes, ma'am.
What is it like living with your family?
We barely talk to each other. Like,
really?
Black people.
Facts. Like we literally throughout the day, right? I would I wake up, right, walk out my room, right. I'll sometimes check up with see if my sister is alive or my mom's alive.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, okay, like, and then I go back to my room. So there was one time, like for like not even an exaggeration, a whole month without seeing each other, but we're inside the same house.
The fuck?
And not even an exaggeration.
See, that'd cause depression.
But no, it was just like a perfect timing type of scenario where like we literally just stayed inside. We only got out if we needed something. Yeah.
Didn't even run into each other in the kitchen.
No.
God.
During the time where I would sleep all day, and like at night I'll go and get my breakfast and my lunch. And all
so you were nocturnal.
Yeah, that I'm still am, but you know that was more during that time.
Who the hell you supposed to meet when you nocturnal?
I'm more comfortable sleeping during the day personally, but
That's odd. It's too much
yeah.
light. Can't handle that,
So you got some what? You don't have blinds?
sir. Sir, with all due respect, your opinion is wrong.
Okay. Okay.
So you don't talk with your sister. What about? Do you have any other siblings?
I have two sisters and that's it.
So it's just a life of isolation and between your rooms, never talk to each other.
Yep.
That sounds kind of boring.
Yeah. We're simple though. Like we don't like me and my sister were kind of raised too, like where we don't really care what people think. We just do our own thing,
Yeah.
type of thing. Like we were like it's so weird because our whole family is like I'm gonna say they're ghetto, right? And we lived around we literally basically live in a ghetto, but me and my sister is like so different from everybody else. Like the people literally call us like white. I don't know why they do. It's kind of weird, but they're like all these like whitewashed or like white, like oh you're just like a freaking you act like a white person all the time. Like I guess. But the funny thing is, right? My cousins, I got very close cousins, right? They're mixed with black and white. They're mixed, right? And they live in a suburban white neighborhood, right? And you know what they do all day? They smoke weed all day. They do drugs all day. They party all day. They act ghetto. They talk ghetto. But they have a way better life than we did, which is such a weird thing for me personally.
What, the ghetto part of it?
Yeah, because like they live in a white neighborhood. I live in a black neighborhood. They live like only around white people. I live around black people. But they got the ghetto experience of like doing drugs. Like
I think you're looking at it backwards.
you know, no, I'm not. I'm literally not.
No. Let me explain. All right. So a lot of these like suburban like white areas, they don't see a lot of black people in their lives. All right?
Mhm.
So sometimes they kind of categorize people as like token black friend or some shit like that. They expect certain behavior from them, and like there's a what's it called? I forgot what it's called, but there's like a whole psychological term for it where you act the way that people are expecting of you,
That's true.
and the way that people and you treat people the way that you expect in terms of what you expect from them. So when these white people see these mixed black kids, like typically mixed people when they're half white, they typically identify more with the non-white part, which is hilarious for me, but whatever. Yeah, when they see these mixed kids, they're like, oh my god, they got black culture, it's so cool and shit. Like they be listening to fucking rap and whatnot. Oh my fucking god, they got the ultimate power. They could say the N-word. Let's go hang out with them niggas right now, huh? Let's go smoke some weed and shit. Let's do all this fuck shit, bro. Yeah, they perpetuate the gang stereotypes around them, and these dudes kind of just can't do nothing about it. So they just kind of, yeah.
Yeah. They feel that they have that expectation to act a certain way.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. That's true. Which is like such a weird. Like sometimes I think if we were switch roles, would I be the same way? You know, would I act that same way? But I don't really know.
She would put it in the exact same
Yeah.
situation. You'd basically be them. So, yeah, it would be.
That's crazy to think about.
The only thing that would be swapped is
smoking weed and doing drugs. Oh my god, it's ew.
this nigga.
Have you ever done it?
Hell no.
Not once in your entire life.
Because this is my philosophy on drugs, right? Especially weed. People always say, "Well, weed is not a drug." Well, it is a drug. Shut up.
Damn.
And people would say, weed does more harm than good. That may be true, but you can't completely disregard the bad that it does. That's what a lot of people like to do. They always look at the positives but never the negatives to make it better than it actually seems.
Well, the thing about weed is that as long as you're using it after your brain is fully developed, there's no negative side effects.
Um, no, that's another
So after
conversation for another day.
no, after
Like,
the age of 25, there's like you shouldn't be expecting too much to happen. But if you're using it beforehand, it's gonna fuck you up cognitively.
yeah,
You're gonna be
yeah. Before that, hand is gonna mess you up.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, even after the age of 25, saying there's just no negative side effects is just completely false.
And there's addiction.
I mean,
People are
in post-
prone to addiction.
Weed doesn't exactly cause addiction.
People may have like
People
a
don't get
addicted
people get
personality.
addicted to synthetic weed. Synthetic weed is much. I mean, it's basically made so that people get addicted. But like, if we're talking, if you're comparing it to something like alcohol or something like that, weed is a much better alternative than alcohol.
I agree. Weed is better than alcohol.
I mean, I disagree with the whole with using any kind of substance that fucks you up cognitively, like in the moment. But yeah, no. Continue.
Yeah.
What about? Did you ever go to parties, Jalen, or were you just like no?
Oh,
Now that we
I've
brought up
been
weed and
to-
alcohol,
I've been to so many family parties, and I've only been to 2 parties in my life. My first ever rave, though, I went to a teen rave where you, like,
White
it was,
people.
yeah, it's a lot of white. There was a lot of drugs, and my cousins took me. And I'm still really antisocial, really anti. I'm still antisocial, but I was like peak, right? And they took me to a rave, which is like probably the worst thing you can do to an antisocial person. And I went inside, and like everybody knew each other. Everybody was like, oh, dabbing up, and like all these things, like, oh, and literally I see people just casually doing drugs. Like, what? Like,
White
what's
people.
happening? I went to the very far corner of the rave, of the building during the rave, and this guy walks up to me. I was like, hey man, do you want a show? I was like, what? And he brought his gloves. He's like, oh, it's gloving. What the hell is gloving? You trying to touch me, bro? Like, and gloving is where they put on the gloves and have like lights on the fingertips, and they like give people a light show. And I was like, bro, that sounds really weird. Like, it's such a weird
It
thing
works
to
when
do.
you're hot.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then you try to give me drugs. I'm like, what, bro? And okay, this basically made it awkward. So at the back of the building, oh, that's where I was at the time. There's like a mirror, right? And so it was so awkward. So I tried to avoid him, so I turned away, and I didn't know there was a mirror. So as I turned away and I looked at the mirror, he still was looking at me, and I saw him looking at me. And we both knew that I knew he was there because I was looking at him through the mirror, and he saw me looking at through the mirror. It was such an awkward exchange, and I eventually just walked away. But it was such an awkward experience. But also this other moment, because we were only there for like 2 hours. There's other moment where I went to the other side of the building. There was these 2 girls just chilling, sitting down, and this guy was just sat in the middle of them, like boom, mid conversation. They were just talking to each other, sat in the middle of them. It started like literally just like like touching up on them. They were like really weirded out, and like it's not funny, but it was like a weird experience to see this guy just finessing, and like they obviously did not want this to happen, but they didn't leave. I like at that point I wanted to do something, right? I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do something. So I just left. Like
I might have
White
been best.
lady.
I really didn't want to be in a situation where I possibly get in a fight, especially during that time. So
So I imagine he wasn't like a scrawny dude. He was a big dude.
Oh, he was a scrawny dude.
Are you
You
serious?
could have taken
Yeah,
his
he
ass.
was.
Come on.
Jalen, what the fuck?
100%, but
You could have thrown his ass out the window.
nah, I'm really not trying to have any altercations during that time.
Jesus Christ, Jalen. That man would have broke his fingers punching you.
So,
That was easy.
just
What would
want to.
you
Just be a Valkyrie.
do?
What'd you say, Fate?
Just wanted to end on one last question,
Mm-hmm.
and it's going back to your whole life, right? So, I asked you, what was the worst part of your life, but what was the best, or something that you really cherish?
Okay, this is might sound really weird. My first time getting Xbox Live.
What?
Okay, but hear me out. Right. So throughout my gaming experience, I never personally owned online. Right. I'll go to my friend's house, or people bring their consoles over and they have Xbox Live. I'll play online, but I never personally had Xbox Live or PlayStation. I never actually used PlayStation because PlayStation Plus was free during that time. But yeah, Xbox Live. And when I bought Xbox Live, I met I think like the next day after I bought Xbox Live, I met a really close friend on Xbox that we're still friends to this day. But obviously we don't talk to each other anymore. But if I had never bought Xbox Live, I've never got it. Meeting my friend, what led me to being Call of Duty Pro, what led me to meeting a lot of people on, like, transitioned me to Discord and like on like chats on the computer and all that stuff. Well, honestly, if I never bought Xbox Live, I'll probably never be here.
That's a wow. Just by Xbox Live, huh?
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about. Just from a simple okay. So,
Jalen is weird. Don't worry about it.
yeah. Figured that out first week I met him.
That is a very good assertion to make.
I always knew Jalen was a little special.
Okay, buddy.
All right. Anyway, thank you, thank you, Space God, for your time today.
First of all,
What?
I exist throughout all time, right?
Okay. Here we go.
Stop being offended.
Here we go. But yeah, I hope I learned a lot. Hope you had a good time in these 48 minutes.
Make sure that you recognize that I'm your superior. And
Superior at
above all of you.
slopping that's top, bro.
Make sure
somebody-
you recognize the fact that Q rated this interview like halfway through.
Oh my god.